We have a cold night in the Northeast. A bad evening to be without a parka, but we are set for football at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Tonight, the stage is set for our final Thursday night game of the year between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback.
Ready.
They'll start on the ground. Hall. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down. Well, this defense for the Jaguars, they were very good in the win over Dallas a week ago.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there, and they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Hall again on second down. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Play action. It's Wilson. He'll buy some time right. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Wilson smart to take off and run with it as he's able to pick up the first.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. The Jets at 11-3 on the year. And they've certainly found their groove of late. Winners of 5 in a row.
And this team is absolutely playing their best football right now. This is the best that we've seen them play in a long time, partner. Sky's the limit as far as they're concerned. Their confidence really soaring.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. That one goes for 24 yards. So the ball moves from 138 to the other as they come up on 1st and 10. Wilson. This pass out wide to Hall. And some space here. Down the right sideline. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A big pickup of 38. And I think that's a pretty good illustration of why they try to get the football into his hands out of the backfield. That was something else.
And we talk so much from a defensive perspective about scheming and finding ways to take away the run. That means the offense has to devise different ways to get the ball in the hands of their guy out of the backfield.
And he is in. Touchdown, New York. Breece Hall with his 13th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Jets will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. Zerline good with a PAT. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. Now Jamal Agnew from his end zone. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And a pretty slick return there. Almost got it to the 45. Officially, they'll call him down at the 44.
Well, you gave up the first touchdown of the game, but how about the response? Big-time return. Now it's their chance to try and put points on the board.
Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their own 43. They'll start on the ground. ETN. Room here to run. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Travis Etienne, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Jaguars are able to strike back quickly with an opening touchdown of their own. Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And listen, these Thursday night games, they're tough on the body. You just played on Sunday. 72 hours later, hey, it's game day again. But I have to think a Thursday night game in September much more preferable than a Thursday nighter in December, no?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You mentioned how tough it is on the body. How about the mind? You're already tired, fatigued, right? Trying to battle for playoff spots. And here you have the quick turnaround. Now, the flip side is, if you take care of business, win that Thursday nighter, you go into a mini open week. Gives you a few extra days to heal up the body and the mind before you play your next game.
4 yards the pickup, first down. Looked like a pretty smart decision that time to keep the football by the quarterback.
It was, because you saw how the runner got swarmed. So you got to pull the ball from his arms, keep it yourself, and get what you can. And the most underrated player on this play is the running back, because even if he doesn't have the ball, he has to act like he does in order to attract the defense.
And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to them.
And the Jags have 5 in the secondary here on 3rd down. Now it's Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free. And it brings up 4th down. Now the Jets send on Braden Mann to punt. Jamal Agnew is deep to return it. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. Throwing quickly, this is caught by Kirk. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that, because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook. Pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards the pickup there.
It is fun to watch the big man work the middle of the field. How about that post route there? Did an excellent job of getting his head around to look the football in and gain significant yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's ETN. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. So, CD, this defense, they know that they have to be at their very best when they're taking on a team here that's in the midst of a winning streak that's now stretched over multiple months, not weeks, months.
I think the challenge they put upon themselves is, we want to be the guys to end that streak. And what's working in their favor? The winning streak on the other side. Sometimes that carries a burden with it because they feel like they have to play perfectly as well. Let's just go out there and get them is the idea.
I'm ready.
On 2nd down, here's Lawrence. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And now 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
They'll run with Etienne. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. 7-7, our score after 1. On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt. The Jets have Braxton Berrios back deep. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. As mentioned, this one of the hottest teams in the NFL, riding that winning streak into this one, but now playing here on Thursday night. Do you think that this helps or hurts their momentum?
But ordinarily, I'd say it hurts the momentum because now you get that short week. But when a team's playing as well as they are, it actually allows them to down focus and only worry about themselves and less about their opponent. So when you're playing well, you just worry about the things you're doing well and let the opponent deal with that.
Eight yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Throwing is Wilson. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. He did an okay job of absorbing the hit, just couldn't secure the football through the catch.
And he was right there on the spot and forced the incompletion. That's something defenders work on all the time. If you're there, make the contact, but continue to work your way through the receiver so that you can't possess the football and turn it into a catch.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. The 30, 10, 5, and all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Jeff Smith, his first touchdown on the year. And the Jets have taken the lead. Zerline connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. From his end zone, here comes Agnew. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And there, of course, was a lot of talk about this ball game coming into play. 2 division leaders in the AFC. Could this be a potential playoff preview down the line?
Yeah, and I think when you're talking about the talk about this game coming into play, you're talking about me because I blew up your phone all week prior to this one. I was so excited about this game because, to me, it's not out of the realm of possibility that these two teams see each other again down the road. I like this matchup. They match up very well against each other.
Yeah.
On 2nd down, a run with Etienne. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 63 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. On the counter, Etienne. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
And now they'll throw it with Lawrence. Got his man, Robbie Anderson. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40.
And they'll run it. This is James Robinson.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
From the shotgun, Lawrence into double coverage, and it's intercepted. And the Jets will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. So the interception there, and Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason.
And he's going to lose a yard or two, taken down behind the line.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates them because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Here's Wilson. And incomplete on the deep ball.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
On is the punter man as he boots this one away.
They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and it'll be Jaguar football as they take over deep in their own territory. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
ETN up the middle. And he lost the football. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. He's now lost fumbles in back-to-back weeks. And, of course, you remember last week's game, such a close affair. That hurt him.
Hurt him in a big way, and it is so key to take care of the ball because, remember, the team making the fewest mistakes usually wins the game. So you got to take care of the ball, lock it away, high and tight, as you often hear from running back coaches. 4 points of pressure, fingertips, forearm, biceps, sternum, or chest. Put it away.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Now Wilson. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted.
Picked up by Tyree Gillespie. And the Jaguars are going to take over at their own 28-yard line.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. And completes it to Kirk over the middle.
And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. So, roughing the passer penalty, never one that you like to see.
Not at all, and especially when you're in that final push of the season. You can't afford to get your quarterback hurt before the playoffs roll around. And we know they'll be here before you know it.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And the screen unsuccessfully dropped it.
He was trying to get that one out to his running back out of the backfield, but that one was read and timed perfectly, and they were able to break it up.
On 2nd and 10, Lawrence. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Carl Lawson able to record his 5th sack of the season.
All about the offense so far this drive, putting something sustained together. But the defense, they responded on that play. 2nd and manageable became 3rd and long. The drive marching to the end zone is one play from stalling out.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long.
And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Quentin Williams, he's the one to get him this time at back-to-back sacks, brings up 4th down. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. He had the distance, but it's no good. Wide to the right.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
And with only 4 seconds on the clock, time likely for just one snap of the football.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. So that would have been something from that distance, but to no avail. Comes up empty as we have reached the intermission. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Jaguars with work to do. They trail here as we are back underway on EA Sports. Fields it right around the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
Well, out of the locker rooms here they come. Their first drive of the third quarter. And, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game, but we got a tight one set up to be a very entertaining second half.
And as we know, partner, in the NFL, there's trailing and there's trailing, right? Sometimes you're discouraged by how much you're down, but in this case, this is a tight ball game, so there's a sense of optimism here. I think they went into half and looked at their play sheet and said, these are the plays we really like. What do you say we use them to start the second half and get us going?
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to air one out for Anderson. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And the Jets are going to take possession of the football. Tough one there. First drive of the third quarter, throw an interception, and now a chance that they could be an even a bigger hole if they can convert this into points.
Yeah, but how good do you feel if you're that defensive coordinator right now? Because you just know that the head coach looked at him and said, turn him loose, big man. And he'd be able to take a few extra chances playing with this type of a lead, and boy, it paid off.
And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. 72 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. They'll run with Hall. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Breece Hall. His second TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Jets are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Zerline good with a PAT. And it's now 21-7. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. From his end zone, here comes Agnew. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Lawrence hit and the ball is free.
And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. They go play action with Wilson. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Martin, I think he's got to be careful as he continues to try to extend plays because he's already been intercepted in this game. And the coverage, they continue to challenge all of his receivers downfield.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Throwing for the out route, he finds Wilson.
And he's going to be taken down here, still a couple yards short of the first. So they'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
And that big gain may just change the thought process here on 4th down. I think in the red zone, they might now consider going for it on 4th down.
Zuerlein's kick is up and through, and they will open things up a bit more. It's 24-7. So the fumble recovery had them set up in ideal field position, but they can muster only 3 points out of it.
Yeah, when you're able to force turnovers, especially when it results in field position like they had, you really want to make it hurt. Here, they take the field goal. That's definitely not what they were hoping for.
And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Jermaine Johnson, his 2nd sack of the night.
So 2 sacks for the rookie, definitely making an impact here in year 1.
And in a ton of different ways, because rushing the passer, that was supposed to be a skill that he was developing. Looks to me like he's figured it out already.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Almost outkicked his coverage there. 48-yard punt, but 10 on the return. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Ball again on 2nd down.
And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48.
80 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Here's Wilson to throw. He's got him in, complete, and all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Denzel Mims, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and the lead is now 24. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away.
And no return here for Agnew, so they'll bring it out, start the drive at the 25.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball. And it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Now Lawrence to throw. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40.
Looking to throw, Lawrence.
This is caught. It's Kirk. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Complete to Jones.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
Throwing again on second down. Lawrence. He'll connect on the out route with Ingram. And the Jags are going to have a first and goal. They nearly had the touchdown, but he's going to be marked out of bounds just shy of the pylon. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Let's go. Block it.
And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown.
His 4th rushing touchdown on the year, number 6 overall. And the Jaguars are able to cut into that deficit. Lawrence going to look to throw for it.
Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation. This time, unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the 4th quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up without another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. On first down, right back to Hall. And he is going to lose yardage here.
That's Foley Fatukasi into the backfield with ease and making the stick for a loss.
I think we call that season's greetings right there. He came up, pow! Knocked him for a loss.
On second down, a run with Hall. And not much room to speak of. He'll get about 3 up to the 41.
Well, partner, Marvin, our number 1 stats guy, just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today to try and get him over 100 yards.
To throw is Wilson. To the right side, and he's got more complete.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. Normally, you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the 4th quarter, but the way that they passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game, and trusting this quarterback, I think you continue to do so.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
The Jets on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This will be 3rd and 6.
Well, he's going up top for Wilson.
And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets.
Garrett Wilson,
40 yards.
And the Jets stretch this 4th quarter lead even further, and they are closing in on win number 12 of the season.
Zerline good with a PAT. And they open the lead up now to 25.
From his end zone, here comes Agnew. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Well, that's the third interception for Lawrence. And the Jets are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Straight ahead is Hall. 2 yards on the pickup. It'll be second down.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
On third down, here's Hall.
And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1. Zerline's kick is up and through, but now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about.
Well, things obviously not going their way. Trailing here in the fourth quarter, and that penalty going to go ahead and give the other side some extra yardage.
We all know it's an intense game and things can get heated out there. That's part of the battle. But bottom line, you got to keep your cool. That was not an example of doing that.
Second and 10. They'll go again with Hall.
And he's heating up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They've got a third down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away.
On the counter, it's Hall.
And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. It goes as a gain of 9, and it moves the chains. And they'll indeed take a knee. It's second and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Clock counting down toward 40 seconds as they take the knee. And now can they reverse the trend on third and goal with the last 2 plays having gone backwards?
This was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
Yeah, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So for the Jets, the wins keep coming as this one moves them to 12-3 on the year. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week, where they take on the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to Houston to take